enemies of peace. U.S. Imam accuses Zionists of global chaos and treachery. Classic. During a Friday sermon at the Islamic House of Wisdom in Dearborn, Michigan, Imam Mohammad Ali Elahi delivered a series of incendiary remarks accusing Zionists of being enemies of peace who love blood, misery, crime, and corruption. Elahi, an Iranian-born cleric who has long-standing ties to Iran's regime, denounced the American government's support for Israel as shameful, stating, quote, "Taxpayers are paying for this kind of violence and terrorism." Citing Quran verses, he condemned what he described as Israel's actions against Palestinians, asserting that words like occupation and genocide do not fully capture the scale of Israel's brutality and barbarism. Elahi also lambasted President Joe Biden, suggesting that he is sleeping while the nation's foreign policy is allegedly influenced by AIPAC, the pro-Israel lobbying group. The Imam's rhetoric and alleged alignment with Iran's agenda have drawn scrutiny from U.S. lawmakers, especially given reports from the George Washington University identifying him as a figure advancing pro-Iranian propaganda within the United States. The report highlights his extensive ties to the Iranian regime, beginning with his early career as the head of the Iranian Navy's political ideology office in 1982. Despite his associations, Elahi continues to engage with prominent U.S. political figures. His visibility and political involvement underscores the influence of individuals with ties to the Iranian regime and how they can wield power within American communities. So, Armin, please bring up that video that I found. And this is kind of long, so let's not watch the whole thing. Let's just watch like the first 2 minutes.
Okay.
We cannot find the right word for things that we have been observing in the last year, for almost a year now. What is the word? Occupation or apartheid or genocide or war crimes are not enough to describe the reality of this brutality and barbarism. We are dealing with these people who are enemies of peace. They love fighting. They love war. They love blood. They try to escalate the war to make more mess and more misery in this world, because they enjoy crime and corruption. But what is really shameful for us as American citizens, that our government is sponsoring this terrorism, the state of terrorism, with the tax of this nation. The taxpayers are paying for this kind of violence and terrorism. And then nobody is even talking about it. We looks like we don't have even a president now. President Biden is sleeping. We don't hear from him. And looks like he's just sleeping. A country without president at this time. And looks like the country is run by AIPAC, both in foreign policy and what is going on in Palestine and Lebanon. Brothers and sisters, what Israel did in the pager and other wireless devices in Lebanon It is a tsunami against international trust in any transaction. Now, it's going to be a crisis in business in the world. That all these countries that they order, whether you order a refrigerator or microwave or dishwasher or a cell phone or a sayyara or an airplane or whatever, you don't know that's going to be the same. If they could do this to a pager, simple pager,
brother,
what about an airplane?
It's scary.
What about a TV set?
Oh my God.
So now they broke the international trust. That is a treason to trust of this global community. They brought this chaos in transaction because they are أشد الناس عداوة للذين آمنوا ذلك بأنهم كانوا يكفرون بآيات الله ويقتلون النبي.
Stop. So after this, he basically just launches into quoting scriptures in Arabic, detailing all the ways in which Jews are not trustworthy. But guys, don't worry, it's just the Zionists, right? Triple parentheses. And I wanted to talk about this because, like I said, talking about what this guy said is one thing. But what's more important to talk about is this man's background. And like I said, I want to bring you guys more of this knowledge that I've been digging into recently, but I want to do it in a way that's entertaining and it makes people want to watch and learn, right? And if I just went through this report and all its details, it would be, I don't know, too much. But here, the good news is that we have something called Memory TV. And Memory TV brings me some little golden nuggets and snacks to munch up every week. And a lot of these people that are, I believe, agents of the Islamic Republic, run their mouth and end up on Memory TV a lot. And it gives me a good excuse to come bring in this other knowledge that I have. So I want people to understand that here, for example, is a look at the Iranian influence network in the United States. And this is only part of it. This is not all of it. But what's important to understand is what's going on in Dearborn, Michigan. Okay. We have an entire Dearborn hub happening right here. Another very, very important location is down here in Houston, Texas. And what is interesting to note is that Houston actually does have kind of a largish population of Iranians. There's maybe about 1,000 Iranian families in Dearborn, Michigan, but the largest population of Iranians in the United States is actually over here in Southern California. You know what is interesting though about who is in these particular cities? Large populations of Shia Pakistanis and large populations of Shia Lebanese. So it's important to understand that the Iranian influence network in the United States is not exactly even focused on influencing Iranian Americans. This is very, very important. That's
Because Iranian Americans are largely against the regime, so they have to go find other Shia communities.
Yes, and they do this very, very well. So let's scroll down to this guy's organization. So he is part of the wait, where is it? Whoops. He is part of the Islamic Center of America. Dearborn's Islamic Center of America is currently the largest mosque in North America and the oldest Shia mosque in the US. And basically, they have been echoing the propaganda of the Islamic Revolution since the 80s, since the beginning. And I mean, this is a mosque that is known, and this guy is notorious for anti-Semitic remarks. They are notorious for promoting and holding memorial services for the spiritual leader of Hezbollah, for example. Calling for the death of Salman Rushdie, all sorts of stuff. And what is incredibly concerning is that here, this leader Elahi is this man right here. Who is he with, Armin? Who is Elahi, an American citizen, standing with in this photo?
Rouhani and Zarif. Is that Rouhani on the right?
Yes, I
And
believe
Zarif?
so.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
My
scrolling
God.
down,
These are
oh,
the so-called reformers.
yeah. Oh, the so-called reformers, and we can see them with you can see him here with who? Khomeini.
Oh my God.
This is a
Wow.
guy that somehow managed to get American citizenship. I don't know how. Um, and what is incredibly shocking is that this imam, uh, Elahi, is the only American member of the Ahl Bayt World Alliance. And let me find the
Wait,
summary
before
on.
you go, who highlight? Did you? Why is this highlighted? Did you highlight these?
Oh, this is my notes. You're looking at my notes
Wow.
on this report.
So you went through all of this report and you highlighted these, and okay, so you just study these for what on your own free time? The guys, look at Susie.
This is what I do,
She does
guys. I went and read this whole thing. Oh wait, no, this is too. Where's the pop out on the Ahl Bayt World Assembly? Okay, here we go. This is very important. This man is the only member of the only American member of the Ahl Bayt World Assembly. This is very important. This is one of the primary tools of Iranian influence around the globe. And the Ahl Bayt World Assembly, or ABWA, was formally established in 1999 by Ali Khamenei and is a successor for all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. Khomeini believed that achieving a global, powerful, and influential Iranian state required exporting the ideas of the revolution to non Iranian Shia and Sunni communities. AWBA was shaped by that vision, and the NGO resembling institution has arguably become one of the main tools for spreading the Iranian regime's version of Shia Islam and supporting its agenda. And this is important because it's tied to this other university that is known to train operatives and recruit people to become spies and double agents. And they've been listed by other countries. They've been listed by, yeah, see, the Al Mustafa International University. This is also another very important piece of this puzzle. And yeah, here we have an American citizen that is part of it. Imam Elahi is the only identifiable American member of the ABWA's General Assembly, which meets every 4 years to policy and review opportunities, threats, and strategies in their activities. And there are other people that are in this network of Dearborn, Michigan mosques that have close ties to this assembly. And wait, let me scroll back down. It is this is very worrying, guys, because he gets platformed by incredibly important officials and influential people within our government. And I want people to understand that this is, I mean, very worrying on multiple different levels. But Armin, like, I want you to speak on what kind of message does this send to people who are part of the opposition, to people who are dissidents, when they see
Yeah.
someone like Elahi with senior leadership in our country?
Yeah, so you remember how I said the conspiracy theories that are unjustified and exaggerated have it's based on some grains of truth that just go too far. This is the stuff that feeds into those many Iranians, again, a minority, but still a lot, many, there's a larger number, but small in percentage, Iranians thinking that, okay, maybe the United States is actually trying to keep the Islamic Republic in power because they see stuff like this, because they go and research these things and they see so much, especially the Democratic Party, doing things that they are not able to explain other than maybe they're on the same side. Again, I'm not saying that they are. That's a conspiracy theory. But again, these are the stuff that leads to some Iranians thinking, that the US is not our ally when it comes to our battle with the Islamic Republic. This is why so many Iranians love Israel, because they only think that Israel is the only country that could be trusted with the actual intention of being anti the Islamic Republic. And United States cannot be trusted. Only Israel can be trusted. It's stuff like this.
I actually realized that I misspoke, so let me correct myself in a second. I attributed him to the Islamic Center of America. It's a little bit confusing because a lot of these mosques in the Dearborn, Michigan area actually were connected at some point and had different schisms. So I misspoke. He's actually part of the Islamic House of Wisdom. And like I said, he was a former preacher at that other mosque. And what's important about this, what is so important, is that the Islamic House of Wisdom, where this guy Elahi is currently at, is became a beneficiary of the Alavi Foundation. The Alavi Foundation is a charitable organization in the United States that is a front for the Iranian government. So this is one of those situations where we can legitimately and without question tie this money back directly to funding for the Islamic Republic, because the Alavi Foundation was a charitable foundation that was originally established by the Pahlavis, by the Shah. And when the revolution happened, that charitable foundation was expropriated by the Islamic Republic and then became their front in the United States. And it is tied back to regime officials meeting with their senior leaders, with their presidents, getting directions. When they come visit the UN, they have meetings with them. They are tied to Iranian banking systems, which have been banned and outlawed in the United States. And this Alavi Foundation funds K through 12 education around the United States at Islamic schools, including one of these schools in Houston. And Armin, so this is important because we can actually say that we know that there is regime money coming into this center. But what I want to highlight, wait. Let me find it real quick. Is it going to be here? It's going to be up. Armin, do you remember when we showed the Salam
Yes.
Farmande incident that happened in Houston? For those who are not aware, there was this incident that happened where there are American school children singing Islamic propaganda, Islamic regime propaganda music in Houston, and they put out propaganda videos about it. It was videos that were featured on Iranian state media. And we covered this on the show. This was a huge deal. That school gets money from the Alavi Foundation. That school receives money from the Islamic Republic. This is not like this is happening. This is actually the real thing.
Yeah.
So, and by the way,
And there are other examples in Michigan that D included. So this Salon Farmonde is one example, but can I show you, like, for example, this was in Michigan. So this is how what this translates to, right? Look how big that crowd is. Look how far it goes. And also, here's another example of what that translates to. Again, this is in Dearborn. So this is. Oh, so this is when they gather to honor Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, the former leader of Hezbollah. Whoa! They're saying Khaybar, all Jews. So Khaybar is when Ali, the first Imam of Shias, went and took off the door of the place that the Jews were, and after that they committed genocide on the freaking Jews. So when you ever hear Khaybar, remember they are remembering Ali, the first Imam of Shias, the fourth Khalifa of Sunnis, basically celebrating the door that apparently he was strong enough to basically take out a door with his hands, with his arms, and then they rushed into this place where the Jews were, and they just basically massacred them. And that's what they're saying, Khaybar, Khaybar. Every time you see Khaybar, you hear them saying Khaybar, Khaybar. Remember, that's a celebration of a genocidal, during the time of Muhammad, a genocidal act that Muslims did on the Jews. So you're saying Khaybar, Khaybar, oh, the Jews, the army of Muhammad will return. Yeah, this is a promise of genocide.
Wait,
Anyways,
so
this keeps going.
yeah.
Yeah.
What I want to highlight to people is that when you see any organization that is doing a celebration of Al-Quds Day, that should be an immediate red flag for Iranian influence networks. Period. Al-Quds did not come out of nowhere. Al-Quds is Khomeinism. This Al-Quds Day has a very specific history. So, and also what makes this a little bit more confusing is this Imam Elahi. He has a brother who also operates as an imam within the United States. So we got these Elahi bros are out here saying they're doing some wild stuff. So yeah, all of that was an excuse for me to come tell you guys about this information that has been living in my head for a few weeks now.
Can I expose Susanna for a second here, guys? This whole news was an excuse for. So Susanna is just like reading these reports, taking notes, and highlighting them, and they're all just sitting with her with nobody to share it with. And then all of a sudden, this is what she does. Okay, so she has so many of these reports that she just goes over, and she's like, "Well, how can I share this with people?" And then when something like this happens, she's like, "Ooh, I will use this news as an excuse to show people my notes." That's what's happening here. This is what's happening here. So this news is just a front. This news is just an excuse for these things that she's just holding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sending these reports to D because I'm like, no
Yes.
one else is gonna appreciate this the way that D will, okay? Yeah, weeks ago.
Yes.
Because I know D is also
But
a
there's a
nerd
lot
like
more.
me, okay?
I mean, but there's a lot more of these reports that she's reading. Like, it's just that this is one that we have a news relevant to it that she comes and shares it with us. But she is
I know the next
that's why
report that I have to
she
read is
wishes.
like a series of reports about Hamas.
So it's a kind of, and also Susanna says that if she had her own live streaming segment, Susanna wanted to be able to just come and do a segment where she just goes over reports with you guys. And I think, like, we don't know if she said, like, that's not going to be interesting enough to most people for streaming. But she wishes that if she had her own, so I have my own segment and we have a segment that is me and Susanna. But Susanna wishes that if she had her own segment, that she was just going over reports and reading these documents with you guys. But the reason why we're not doing that is because we don't think that, because unless we find the news that make it interesting as the title, as the headline, we think that would not be that interesting. That's the reason why we're not doing that. But let us know if we're wrong. Maybe there is a huge demand for that. So let us know. Yeah, you're muted again. You're muted. There's something wrong with her mic that she has to keep going in and out. She will be right back. Guys, support us so we could support Susanna with a better mic. I don't know why this happening.
There we go.
There.
So yeah, I had a lot of fun, guys. I hope you learned
Yeah.
something. Please let me know if you thought this was interesting. I try to make it as digestible as possible because it really does go so deep. But there's one thing I actually there's kind of a little announcement I want to make.
We have 3 minutes.
The one thing
Oh,
that I
you're
want to
muted again. Oh, you're back. You're back.
people are saying, do you think you'd think that the US security services would be all over this? And D is saying this is hella frightening, da da da. I want people to be aware that the US government is not blind. Okay. They know what's going on. there's been prosecutions against the Elahi Foundation before. Like, this stuff goes deep. Where if this is all publicly available data, this is a report put out by a public think tank that is free for the entire public to read. Let me be, and this is like publicly available, right? Imagine what is known by the security services behind the scenes. Okay, I in my work outside of AR have gotten just the taste on my tongue equivalent to a single grain of salt of the professionals that work behind the scenes to counter these forces within our country. These people are like bulldogs on a bone. They are tenacious in their determination to defend the American homeland. So I do not doubt for a second that these people are aware of these threats and doing everything within the extent of the law to prevent that threat to materialize in America, right? Um,
Yeah.
so and I know that I've only been exposed to the tiniest fraction of what this looks like behind the scenes, and I was hit like a brick wall in my face, like, damn, these people are the most intelligent, well-equipped professionals I've ever seen in my life, and they do not sleep when it comes to threats against our nation. I can't speak about every other nation. I just know how I feel as an American. So I go to sleep feeling pretty okay, because these people are talented and relentless. So
Mm.
it can be infuriating that so much of this happens in the public sphere. Um, but I know that there's so much going on behind the scenes that I can't even begin to imagine, right? I just want to give people some
Mm.
reassurance, at least to other Americans. That's all I can speak on. Um, but the last thing that I wanted to say before we close out the show
Quick, because
is,
if we go over 3 hours, we're screwed.
basically that I'm going to be working on doing a Giving Tuesday campaign and end of year fundraising for Atheist Republic, and one of the ways that I want to do our fundraising campaign to raise funds for us to continue our operations is to really highlight the stories of people who are part of our Atheist Republic community and how Atheist Republic has been a benefit to your life over the past year.
30 seconds.
Yes, I know. Come on.
Mm.
So if you have a story that you would like to share, I really want to hear from our community itself. Please reach out to me on Instagram. Link is in the description, or you can email me, Susanna at atheistrepublic.com, or you can hit me up on Telegram. And on Telegram, my handle is at Saint Susanna.
Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.